Lezi izindaba zeThembisa online. Right ake sikubingelele sikwamukele sawubona igama lami ngingumfanelo UPhenyibheshu ngingwakwa Dzanibe isibongo. Sikwethulela izindaba konke okwenzekayo endaweni yaseThembisa, Ivory Park, Rabe Ridge nezindawo ezisungezile. Sikwethulela umbiko lapho sithi khona ikomiti elibhekele zokuphepha esifundazweni saseGauteng elisebenza ke kwisishayamithetho sesifundazwe saseGauteng phecelezi Gauteng Provincial Legislature lokhu ke uma ngabe sikhuluma ngokuphepha community safety eliholwa ke uyena ke usihlalo umhlonishwa ke uBandile Masuku. Namuhla lamukela ke umbiko omayelana nokuthi ngabe kusebenzeka kanjani ibona ka South African Police Service amaphoyisa esifundazwe saseGauteng. Njengalokhu ke nawo kamaphoyisa eholwa iloko ongukhomishana wamaphoyisa kulesi sifundazwe uyena ke Lieutenant General Mthombeni wethula ke umbiko mayelana ke nobugebengu obuqhubekayo. Kanti ke Mthombeni uyakubalula ukuba zisekhona nokho inkinga ezibhekene namalungu omphakathi ikakhulukazi uma ngabe sibheka nakuba ubugebengu behla, kodwa ke uma ngabe sibheka eminye iminxa efana nokuthunjwa kwabantu nokho ke nabantu nje ke uyachaza ukuthi ukubekezelelana ke akukho. Okunye kakubaluleke kakhulu akuchaza nje ngokuthi ke futhi kuyinkinga abantu ekufanele beqaphele ilokhu kusebenzisa ke uhlelo lokuthenga online phecelezi ke online shopping. Ezinye ke zezinto neminxa ekufanele ke abantu ke beyibheke uma ngabe sikhuluma ngabo ubugebengu. Uphinde wathinta ke futhi ke nendaba ethinta ukujutshwa ke kwabombutho wezokuvikela kulesi sifundazwe saseGauteng ekubeni ke ngabe kuzosebenza kanjani njengalokhu ke kwakumemezele umongameli wezwe laseNingizimu Afrika umhlonishwa uCyril Ramaphosa. Ake sibeke nezinkulumo ke sibone ukuthi ke ngabe uma sikhulumisana nabo kabahlonishwa sikhulume kanjani. Siqala phezulu ke eqhulwini ngomhlonishwa ke ongusihlalo wayo ke i-community safety committee umhlonishwa ke uBandile Masuku esifundazweni saseGauteng kwisishayamithetho.
Greetings to your viewers and thanks for having us on your show.
Thank you so much. Please kindly tell us what portfolio are you having so that we can then be able to outlay.
Okay, my name is Bandile Masuku. I'm the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Community Safety in the Gauteng Provincial Legislature, which is a committee that does oversight on the work done by the police, the South African Police Service in the province, and also the work that is done by the Department of Community Safety in the province.
Mm-hmm. Please tell us about today's engagement with SAPS and your feedback on crime stats.
This is our regular engagement with the South African Police Service, where we normally get the presentation on the crime statistics for a particular quarter. In this case, we're doing the third quarter of the financial year 25-26. And we are quite pleased with the downtrend trend that we are seeing on the number of major categories of crime in Gauteng, and we like to applaud the work that is done by the police, but also in the equal vein say that we still need to double up our effort to make sure that the trend is sustained, but we do more reduction of crime.
Mm-hmm. We have seen you have signed an MOU with Gun Free SA. Tell us more about that. What does it mean going forward?
It is part of the committee's work and intentions and objectives that we don't want just to be bystanders as a committee, only receiving reports, but we also need to engage the public, we need to engage the communities, and our worry is all that there is a number of crimes that are committed through guns, and we want to be part of the whole campaign to actually deal with or making Gauteng a gun-free province. And coincidentally today, it's one of the world's International Day on Anti-Proliferation and Disarmament of the United Nations, which is quite a breakthrough for us as a committee.
Mm-hmm. How then do you intend to reach out to the community and on the commitments that you have here? Not per se like how do you intend, but you spoke about reaching out to those communities. Your plans?
The plans are going to be, in variety way. We're going to engage on activations in public places, in malls, in stadiums, and so on. But we're also going to visit places where are supposedly known to be supposed to be gun-free zones to make sure that there is signage around that and make sure that people are aware about it.
And your last words to the community?
The community is important in fighting crime. Police won't be able to do it alone. We need to get ourselves organized. We need to be the eyes and ears of the police. And I think we can, if we work with the police, we can be able to make sure that we continue with the trend that is downward in terms of crime in Gauteng. Thank you.
Thank you. Sikwazile ke ukuthola ithuba sihlanganele nezinye izintatheli ekuthenini sikhulumisane naye ukhomishana wamaphoyisa esifundazweni saseGauteng asichazele kabanzi ngabo ke ubugebengu ukuthi kwehla kuphi kukhuphuka kuphi ake sethamele lenkulumo.
Thank you very much. As I've indicated that we have seen a reduction on the 17 community reported crimes, 7.6%, of which is over 2,253 in terms of the numbers. But you'll had, unless if you was not in there, that kidnapping it is a concern. For the community out there and also the members of parliament, one has to indicate that we are of course having systems in place in order to deal with this kidnapping. As I tried to explain, at length to the honorable members, which have clearly indicated that as and when these issues get reported, we have in the activation mechanism of which we relay it into the center where we have to have a record in terms of reporting, and out of that the resources get activated in that sense, which links up with people who are mandated to deal with kidnapping, which is organized crime, and as well as the National Anti-Kidnapping Team. We are, of course, working closely with the E2 project, which is the eyes and ears linked to the Business Against Crime South Africa. And I have also made a reflection that for the period under review, we have since arrested 751, people, and then out of 405 cases. The other issue, when you look on the crime statistics, you'll realize that attempted murder, it is a problem, of which I think we had a 6.5% increase. The attempted murder is falling under the category of contact crimes. As and when I was putting my remarks there before the crime register can come for, I've clearly indicated that the causative factor, it's argument, and people they beat each other and so on and so forth. I called upon the community, the likes of your TRT or Technical Response Team, with the help again of the E2 projects, with the help of the community. Like, for example, last week we had this cash in transit heist in UPhenyibheshu. We managed to arrest a person there with a possession of unlicensed firearm. So that itself, it shows, because that collaboration with the security industry we managed to. This week, I'll say yesterday, we had also somewhere there in Ekurhuleni, in Tshwane, we had in the early hours of the morning, we had this cash in transit heist. With the follow-through of the crime intelligence, we managed to follow systematically. As there was interaction in terms of shooting, we managed to get one person who was in the hospital, and when we're doing scientific investigation, we realized that this particular individual is indeed linked also with other cases. And previously, we could engage these people, and we were in a position to can have some fatalities in respect of that. Arson is one of the crime category which have shown an increase And I must just indicate that the arson is also by 5 cases, by 6 cases, I mean to say, because cash in transit license is 5, then arson is 6. So arson is also attributed by the community. You'll find that in an informal settlement. When it's raining like this, some of the people, they put together mbaula. Some of the people, they do cooking with the stove, and ultimately the shack get caught. When it get caught, and then we ultimately have this typical type of a crime. And lastly is a commercial crime. The commercial crime, it is something which it is a problem because the community as well, when they see something advertised there in Winterveld, they see it's a Mercedes-Benz, the latest Mercedes-Benz or a Polo. You want to go and buy a Mercedes-Benz or Polo there in Winterveld. When you go there, you got accosted, and then they draw your money, and you lose. You don't even get that typical type of a car. But the other thing is online purchases. I know most of the people here, you like online. You are even proud of online purchasing. You say, I'm seated comfortable where I stay, and I'll just punch the buttons, and whatever I want is going to reach me. And in most cases, you find that you have put money and the items that are not forthcoming. And because we are frustrated, you go to the police and open a case. So we are, of course, having the challenges within those areas. In terms of what we have released, in terms of the crime statistics, there are figures there which have shown an increase. In terms of numbers, it's 52 cases. But you must take note, kidnapping, when you put it all into the basket, it includes, amongst other things, like kidnapping for the purpose of taking the vehicle or attempts thereof. So the numbers there, they are quite high. When you look over 2,000, you'll find that is, in terms of that figures which we have presented, is 1,352. Here, it's not necessarily kidnapping to get the ransom, is to get a property. And then it is followed by robbery. You know, robbery there, we have recorded 445. But when you check on the kidnapping for ransom, it's 138, which the number is worrisome. So in respect of that, the numbers is 138, but it's a worrisome because when you deprive the human being his or her freedom, it becomes a problem. So having said that, these are the analogies in terms of kidnappings. We're having different numbers, but the highest number is for hijacking or attempted hijacking in order to get the car.
So the kidnapping for ransom?
Or in Kliptown, where an Indian, Chinese, I'm saying Indian, where a Chinese community member was kidnapped. Within that space, because of the help of technology, we managed to resolve that case. And we have realized that there was not less than 5 cases of which these people were involved. We ended up linking them with the cases for GP, Johannesburg, and we ultimately arrested 9 people in terms of that activity.
Izindabeni zethembisa online ngingumfanelo UPhenyibheshu wakwaDzanibe. Umbiko siuqophe endaweni ke yase Park kanti ke izithombe nemsindo siqoshelwe uDerek Phukela shot by Houza ebamisene noMahlatse Mashamayite ekhona ubanele uBrazo wakwasondlo.